So now let's begin with this part. And as we are talking about a different examination, different competitive examinations for the India, like CAT, TET, and different examination for international examination, GMAT, GRE, and some other university level examination, for example, CUET, etc. So different persons are targeting a different examination, right? But in all these examinations, there are two more important things. One is the arithmetic section, right? Which we have done like percentage, ratio, proportion, time and distance, time and work, etc., and geometry, right? And one is the data interpretation, the graphical representation. So names might be different in different examinations, section, maybe club, be different in different examinations. But yes, overall thing is that these questions, these type of questions are there in the exam, right? So there are three things. First is a percentage, second is a ratio, and third is the average. These are the three very important major topics which are there in all the examination, and with these three topics you are covering almost 70-80% part of your examination, a direct question as well as the indirect application of these three topics: percentage, ratios, and averages, right? So these can be used in algebra, can be permutation combination, can be geometry, can be set theory, right? So these are the topics which I suggest you should have a mastery for these topics, right? And today we are discussing one of these, that is averages. So can anyone tell me how will you define the term average? How will you define the term average? Yes, Rana.
Sir, average is basically taking a sum of all the entities that are given to us and dividing it by the number of entities.
Okay, and any example for this?
Sir, if I'm giving if I'm given five options, five scores out of five only, and each student scored 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 respectively, then we can go on to say that the central tendency, or like on an average, each kid scored 3 marks.
Okay, okay, okay. So this is a typical mathematical example, mathematical approach, but I'll suggest this is one very common example which we all have maybe since we have started studying, and that is the mark sheet which we are having in different standards in different examinations, right? Now, I suppose all of you are graduated or maybe in a say graduation level, right? And in this, when you're getting your mark sheet, so mark sheet is having your different years marks: internal, external, practical, theory, viva, interview, practical, file, presentations, right? Various things are there, and those various things are having a different weightage, right? Maybe uh, theory and practical marks, right? Internal and external marks, attendance, which is classroom presentation, external presentation, right? So in all these things, whenever we are getting a mark sheet, so mark sheet is what? The average of all these activities which we have done throughout the year, right? So this is one of the best example for the average. And as Ronak has discussed, that is a sum of the numbers divided by counting of the numbers. So this is a one type of average, right? So there are different type of averages which we are having, and these are having a different applications, right? So just studying and starting and discussing all these different type of averages. So first, the very common, very simple thing, that is, average is basically the middle value of the given data set and is numerical value that can show a large quantity of data. And if I define this, so average is what? sum of the values divided by number of the values. So I suppose, let's say some of you must be in a different organization working in a different capacities. So you must be calculating the average salaries, average production, average sales, average number of employees, average attendance, right? So this is a simple average, and we are calling this as a mean average. And this is having a maximum utilization and maximum uses in the practical thing, right? Whenever we are talking about average, so we are talking about this simple average, that is sum of the values divided by the counting of the values. So suppose if I have a say different numbers, right? So for this simple average can be defined as what? Suppose if I have a two numbers, x and y. So this is defined as x plus y divided by 2. Or if there are three numbers, so this is x plus y plus z divided by 3, and so on. So sum of the numbers divided by the counting of the numbers, and this is called as a simple average or the arithmetic average, right? Second, we are talking about the geometric mean or the geometric average. So can anyone define what is the geometric mean or geometric average for say two numbers, x and y?
So root xy.
Yes. So this is what? Under root of xy, right? If I have a three numbers, so this is what? That is a cube root of x into y into z. So simple average is defined as sum of the values divided by counting of the value. Geometric mean, geometric average is defined as nth root of the product of the number. So the second is the geometric mean and geometric average, and this is defined as nth root of the product of the numbers, right? And this geometric mean is not having a very practical uses like in day-to-day life or in a professional life. So this is not having any much practical uses. This is basically the bookish average, right? And the third one is what? That is a harmonic mean or harmonic average. So can anyone define what is this harmonic mean and harmonic average? I suppose you have heard this term and you can recall this from the old schooling days.
Sir, it's the total count of values divided by the sum of reciprocals of each of the values.
Values, right, right, right. So suppose if I want to calculate for the two values x and y, so this is what? 2, that is counting of the values, divided by the reciprocal of these values, right? And taking the summation addition. So when you simplify this, so this is coming out to be 2xy divided by x plus y, right? So first simple average is defined as sum of the values divided by the number of values. Geometric mean is defined as nth root of the product of the numbers. And harmonic mean is defined as counting of the values divided by the sum of their reciprocals. So if you want to calculate for the three values, maybe say x, y, and z. So this is what? That is a 3x, y, z divided by x, y plus y, z plus zx. So this is what? The harmonic mean, harmonic average for three variables, right? So these are the three averages, three means which we are having. So first, arithmetic average is having a maximum uses. Geometric mean is having a say some calculative based, that is some values are given and you're just simply calculating. And harmonic mean is typically used when you are calculating the average speed. So harmonic mean is having a maximum usage in the concept of time, speed, and distance, right? So first and the third one are having a maximum usage. Second is not very much important, right? So now moving further, okay. So just apply this knowledge and learning in this question and tell me the answer. Average weight of a batch of 16 students is 45 kg. Two students of weights 69 and 57 kg join. What is the new average of the group? So basically, we are learning the approach, right? How to solve, how to understand the concept. Right? Answer is not very important in this example because uh, these are not the type of questions which are there in these competitive examinations. We are learning the concept, how to apply the average concept without even writing a single letter on the paper, right? But yes, first I want to understand from your side and then I'll discuss. Tell me the answer, whatever the way you can calculate, right? Tell me the answer. Okay. Aditi is saying 47. Okay.
47.
Okay. Ashna is saying 47. So, Ashna, how is this 47?
First of all, we'll assume the average weight to be x. Then
Mm-hmm,
we'll calculate it by x by 16 is equal to 45. And we'll calculate
mm-hmm,
x by multiplying 45, which is the average, into the
mm-hmm,
number of students that are there. Then
mm-hmm,
we have gotten the weight for the 16 students that are there. In
mm-hmm.
that weight, we can add 69 and 57 and then divide the total by 18 students because two more students have added. And then the new average
Okay.
would be 47.
Okay. So basically, whatever we have studied in the schooling days, so typically we are solving the questions the same way. But if I talk about the competitive examination, so there is a fight of two things. One is the speed and second is the accuracy, right? So the method which we have done in the schooling days, so those were the method which are typically used in the board examinations, right? But they are not very suitable for the competitive examination. Okay, so the method Ashna had just discussed is we are having average is equal to what? Sum divided by number, right? Okay, now 16 students having a 45 kg weight. So 16 into 45, right? This multiplication I need to do. Plus two students are joining 69 kg plus 57 kg. Total weight of the class is this. And then 16 are earlier, 2 are added. So now the new count is 18. And then calculating this, we are getting the answer 47. So multiplication, addition, then the bigger number divided by 18, right? So all those mathematical approach methods are used in this, right? And sometimes, say, some of us might use and might try to use the calculator. And in maximum competitive examination, calculators are not allowed, right? Okay. So, Ashna, can you unmute yourself?
Yes.
Okay. So, Ashna, suppose take an example. You are a student of a class, right? And in this class, there are 16 students. And I say all these 16 students are having a average weight is 45. So, does this mean that all the 16 students are weighing 45 kg?
No, that doesn't mean that. It could be high, it could be low for several different students.
Yes. So there might be some students who are having a say more weight than 45 kg. Some are exactly equal to 45 kg and some are below 45 kg. But we are saying 45 kg is the average weight. So I can say average is the representative number of the entire group, right? So
Yes.
maybe for this 16 students, right? Now, if I'm saying two students are adding to the group and their weights are also 45 kg each,
Mm-hmm.
right? So will there be any change in the average?
Mm,
No, sir.
no.
Right? I'm saying the average weight of 16 students is 45 kg, right? And two new students are adding to the group, and their individual weight is 45 kg for these two students individually, right? So, will there be any change in the average of the class?
Ideally not, because the average that is being added is exactly the same as the average.
Exactly the same. So, there should be no change, right? But now, what is happening? There is a one student who is weighing 69 kg. So, how
Mhm.
much extra from 45 kg?
24,
24. Second is 57 kg. How much extra from 45 kg?
12 kg.
12 kg. So, how much total extra weight?
That would be 36.
36. 24 plus 12, 36. Now, this 36 extra weight will be equally distributed among all the members of the group,
Mm, yes, it should be.
right? Because this is average, right? And everybody should have a equal weight, right? So if the 36 kg equally divided among 18 students, so how much weight each one will get?
2
That
kg.
would be twice.
2 kg, right? Presently, the average is 45 kg and 2 kg will be given to them. So the new average will be 47 kg,
47.
right?
Yeah.
And question is solved. So whenever you're reading the question, just try to work the numbers, the equation, the method in the back of the mind. So average weight of a batch is 16 is 20 is 45 kg. Okay. So just try to create a picture in your mind, right? Two students are coming in. One is 69. So how much extra? 24. Second is 57. How much extra? 12 kg. So total 36 is coming in to the group, and total students are 18. So if 36 is the extra weight and 18 students are there, so everyone will get 2 kg. So 45 is present, new is a 47. So this is my answer, just verbally, nothing to calculate,
That would be
right?
way faster. Yes.
Yes. So I suppose everyone is getting a say this understanding, or is there any confusion, any question, any query for anyone?
No, sir.
No? Okay. So now give me the answer for this without even writing anything on the paper. No calculator, no writing. Okay, Priya. Okay. I suggest everyone not to use the writing, pen, paper, not to use the calculator. Initially, there might be a little longer time, right? But my suggestion is not to use. Okay, sign. Okay. Yes, Nandini. Yes. I suggest everyone to please try and solve and give some answer. Right and wrong doesn't matter. Hello, Sai, Chandan. Can you unmute yourself?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. So, what is the answer for this?
Sir, 28,200.
Okay, and how are you getting this?
Sir, I have done, sir, 42,000 minus 30,000, that is
Mm-hmm.
12,000,
Mm-hmm.
plus 54,000 minus 30,000, that is 24.
Mm-hmm.
So total 36. Then I have
Mm-hmm.
divided by 20 people, is 1,800. Then 30,000 minus 1800, that is 28,200.
Yes, yes, yes. So see, and this is average saving, right? I'm not writing, and tell me if anybody is having some confusion, right? Average saving of a group of 22 people is rupees 30,000. Okay, so this is the initial information. Two people with savings of rupees 42,000 and 54,000 leave the group, right? So they are going out. In the previous one, persons are coming in the group, and in this, persons are going out of the group, right? What are the average saving now? Now means for the remaining person in the group. So 22 initially, two are going out, remaining person 20. Okay. Average is 30,000. So if these persons, two persons who are going out and they are taking individually 30,000 each, right? 30,000 each. So there will be no change in the average, right? But they are taking some extra money. And who will give this extra money? The persons who are left behind in the group, right? They will pay this extra money. So first person is taking 42,000, 12,000 extra. Second person is taking 54,000, 24,000 extra. So total these two persons are taking how much extra? 36,000. And this 36,000 equally, right? Equally given by the remaining person. So remaining how many? 20, and extra going out is 36,000. So 36,000 if 20% are giving, so every person is giving how much? 1,800, right? So what is the answer? So this is 30,000 minus what? 1,800, and this is coming out to be what? 28,200. So this is my answer. So now the new average saving is how much? 28,200. Yes, everybody is getting this logic, this concept of average.
Yes, sir.
Right. So my suggestion to everyone, see, you are in an initial phase of the preparation of the competitive examination, right? And most of the examinations are not having the calculators, right? And say some of you must be working with different organizations, some of you must be doing the graduation. So in all these capacities, sometimes you must be using say some computer programs or maybe say calculator for your calculation purpose, right? But try to generate a habit of not using the calculator, because in the examination you will not get, right? Initially you may have say some little longer time to solve, but once the habit is there, you will be much faster than the calculator, right? Okay. So now moving further. Now, so this is average, simple average, right? And geometric average and mean average, harmonic average, we'll be doing in a algebra as well as in a time, speed, and distance, right? Okay. So the next term is the weighted average. Okay. Can you define this? What is the weighted average? What is weighted average?
Sir, we can take an example of perhaps any examination which has multiple sections, but those multiple sections have, you know, different weightage that will be taken into the final account of your score. Like you have to score better in particular sections more than the others to contribute greatly to your school, or like how like our college scores are calculated, more percentages given to our final semester examinations and lesser percentages given to our internal assignments. So perhaps that could be an example of where weighted average takes its inspiration from.
Okay, so Ronak, are you working or you are a student?
Sir, I'm working in the capacity of a business analyst.
Okay. So now almost we are in a mid of the February, and this is the financial year ending. And I suppose all those who are working in a different organization, they must be doing in a one process, which is the appraisal process, right?
Correct, sir.
Right. And you must be filling the form, and like there are various queries, what to fill, what weight to give to this activity, what I have done in the 6 months back, right? So this appraisal form is the best example of the weighted average, right? You're calculating your points, and then your reporting manager is calculating your points based on your performance, right? Okay. So this is the weighted average. Okay. So in a weighted average, what we do, we are giving us some weight, some like some importance to some activity, right? And in this, we are having some simple example. Suppose in a class there are some boys, there are some girls, right? Say boys are you can take like 40, right? And their average marks is 70. And girls say 30 and their average marks is 75. I want to calculate the class average. What is the class average? So this is basically the weighted average of the class. So I can calculate 40 into 70 is the total sum marks for the boys, and 30 into 75 is the total sum marks for the girls. And if I add, I'll get the class summation, total summation for the class, and divided by what? This is 40 number of boys, 30 number of girls, and this is total addition, right? So this is what the weighted average. So for the 70 marks, I have given a weight of 40, that is, there are total 40 boys. And for 75 marks, I have given a weight of 30 because there are total 30 girls, right? So this is what weighted average. We are giving us some importance to some number, right? Okay. So we'll be coming back again to this, but tell me one more thing. What is assumed average? What is assumed average? Now, see this. Suppose I say there are different years, say 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004, and 2005, right? And in these different years, there are different, say, some production, sales, etc., right? So suppose this is something like 600 units, and this 750, and this say 900, and this say 1000, and in this say 1200, right? So maybe this is a production of some cold drink bottles, or maybe ice cream, or something like biscuity, cars, etc. in different years. Okay, so can you tell me the average for the 5 years? How can I calculate the average for the 5 years? What is the average for the 5 years? Okay, Tejaswini is saying sum divided by 5, but yes, Tejaswini. So the formula is this sum divided by 5. But see, this is a little bit tougher to calculate because you are adding. Okay, Nandini is saying 890. So Nandini, how is this number 890? Can you unmute yourself?
Yes, sir. Hello. I just summed it up and divided by 5.
Okay.
But I understood like what you told after that. I think these are not continuous, so the data has to
Mhm.
be continuous to consider the average. Is
No,
it?
average can be like, see, there are different methods. So you're right, the data can be continuous or discontinuous, right? Depending on the data, I can apply a different methods, right? So the earlier method may not be applicable here, but yes, I can simplify this with some other method, right?
Okay.
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 We discussed. Okay. So Aditi, hello. Can you unmute yourself?
Yes, sir.
What's the answer?
880.
I think there is some calculation error. What is the process?
I added them and divided by 5.
I think there is some calculation error. Just check again. Okay. Anyone wants to say something? How can we have the answer for this? Yes, Akshay.
So the approach that I used is I took 900 to be the assumed average, and
Mm-hmm.
then I added the differences with each value,
Mm-hmm.
and then I
Mm-hmm.
found the average of that, and whatever
Mm-hmm.
value I found after that, I
Mm-hmm.
subtracted or added it to 900. So the value after finding all the differences that I was getting it was minus 10. So I
Mm-hmm.
just did minus 10 to 900. So I got the average.
Okay. Yes. Yes. So I suppose that all of you are in say graduated, right? Assuming this, all of you are graduated and earning and in a different capacity of organization, and maybe not graduated, you all must have started doing some savings, right, for you for your future, and this should be started right now, right? If not yet, so this should be started, and because see, we are the young blood, right? And the hot blood. So normally we are much interested in all those new things that is the stock market, mutual funds, futures, options, etc. Right? And when you have invested your money in all these financial instruments, you are calculating your average, right? Suppose you are going through the say today's stock market, BSC, or maybe some international Nasdaq, etc. So you are calculating, okay, this share is the average is okay. This is the average. So what is this? You are taking as a assumed average, right? You are assuming, okay, based on this zigzag graph, ups and downs, the average value will be somewhere around this, right? And maybe you have invested in a say some mutual fund or something, and you're calculating for the last 5 years, and you're looking for the graph, and you're saying, okay, my return in this graph according to this must be somewhere around this much of percentage. This much is my average. You're not calculating actually, right? You're just taking a some rough figure. So this is called as what? Assumed average. Now, as we have defined the term average, what is average? Average is the representative figure of the group, right? And typically, when you're calculating a sum average, average is in and around the central values, right? If there are some 10, 15, 20 values are there. So if you are calculating an average, so average is somewhere near to the central value, right? This is the typical characteristic of the average. So if I have this data and I want to calculate the average, so one way is adding all the figures and calculating the average rate divided by 5, I'll get the value. But alternatively, if I look for this data, so I can see that the average is somewhere the central value. So I can assume this as my average for this data, right? Assume. This is not actual. I'm assuming because this is in a center. So some maybe plus minus thing is there, but this is my average. Okay. So from this number, 900 take the difference of every other number. Okay, so 600, what is the difference? Minus 300. Right? So when you're taking the difference, write the difference with plus or minus sign. Right? For this is minus 150. For this, 0. For this, plus 100. Right? For this is plus 300. Okay? So write the differences from your assumed average. And what is the definition of average? Adding all the numbers and divided by counting of the numbers. So when you have written these differences with a plus and minus sign, so adding will simplify the numbers, right? So minus 300 and plus 300 cancel out, right? This is minus 150 and plus 100 gave me a result of minus 50. Right? How many numbers are there? 5. So divide this by 5. And this is coming out to be what? Minus 10. Right? You have assumed 900 as the average for this data, for this group. But now you need to do a little correction. And how much is the correction? Minus 10. So what is your final answer? This is 900 minus 10, and your final average is coming out to be 890. Right? In this process, in every step, you are doing your calculation simplified. Right? Earlier, the bigger number, then you have taken a some small number, then plus minus sign, which are typically adjusted, and then you are left with some lesser counting of numbers. Then again a smaller number and dividing a small number. Right? But in a normal way, adding all these bigger number give you say some bigger answer around 4500. Dividing by 5 may create a error, right? As Aditi got an answer is 880, which is not correct. Correct answer is 890. Right, Aditi? Have you checked this?
Yes, sir.
Right? So the correct answer is 890, not 880. So when you're doing the calculation with a bigger number, and that too in the examination hall under the examination condition, right? So there is extra effort and extra stress is there in the mind. Right now you're sitting at home and doing and having your dinner, etc., right? Having a tea, etc. So you're just relaxed. But assume the thing, when you are there in the examination hall and say 50, 70 students are sitting in your room, and then you're doing the calculation, and then you need that I should get a say 98, 99%. Right. So those conditions are there, and you should have say some methods which are time saving and stress free. Right. And two things matter. One is a speed, and second is a accuracy. Right. So I suppose you got this logic for the assumed average. Any question, any query, any doubt in this? For anyone?
No, sir.
No? Okay. So what I suggest to everyone, please take a book and just revise this part, that is average. And in our next session, we will be having the application of this. That is, we have just discussed the weighted average. And weighted average, I suppose you must have say one concept in your mind, which is mixtures and alligation, right? Which is again a very, very shortcut way of getting the answers for complex question, maybe in a time and distance, maybe in a say simple interest, compound interest, right? So this is a one method which can help you to get your answer in maybe say faster and faster, like 10 seconds or 20 seconds, right? So I suggest just please do at least 20-25 questions related to the topic average, right? So that you can have a proper and good understanding of this concept average, right? And one more thing, I suggest write minimum, right? And try not to use the calculator. Okay. Whatever is the maximum necessary, just write only things, right? But try to solve verbally, right? For this. Okay. So, okay. So Aditi is saying, what if the set of data is given in a even count? Okay. So Aditi, there is a no problem if set of data is given in an even count, right? See, what I have suggested to you that you can have some number, right, in an average, which is near to the center. So in this example, we have taken a 900. This is in the center, right? Now, you say, I do not like 900, or maybe as you're saying, the set of data is something even 6, 8, 10 values are there, right? So what we generally do, we are taking some middle number, right? Middle number. So suppose I just explain in this only. Suppose you are saying I am taking average as 800, right? You are saying 900 I do not like, and this is some data which is having some figure, different figures. So I prefer to take a average as 800, assume that, right? Now take the difference. So first number, how much? Minus 200, right? Second number, how much? Minus 50, right? This number, how much? Plus 100, right? This number, how much? Plus 200. This number, how much? Plus 400, right? Got it. So this is 200 and 200. So plus 200 minus 200 cancelled. And if I take this, so minus 50 plus 100. So this will give me plus 50. Done. And now what is the number we are having? 400 plus 50, that is 450. Right? For how many numbers? 5 numbers. And this is what? Plus, right? So this is what you're getting, plus 90. You have assumed your average is 800. Now you have to do your correction, plus 90. So your final answer is coming out to be 800 plus 90, and this is coming out to be the same as 890. Right? Got it? Okay. But see, taking a number which is already in the group will simplify your calculation a little bit more. And if I take 900, I am getting a one value as 0. So there is a no calculation required for this. But if I take the 800, I am getting a difference as plus 100. So there is some little calculation in there, right? But if you are going with the process, correct process, you will get the answer. But the purpose, the motive is what? That is minimizing the calculation, right? So getting a 0 or getting 100, minimizing is where? Getting a 0. So I prefer 900 to be the assumed average, right? Okay. Yes, Ashna. So for weighted average, right, as I told you, just revise this thing and do at least 25-30 questions for the average. And I have just discussed one topic, that is a mixtures and allegation, right? So mixtures and allegation is a shortcut method of the weighted average, right? So weighted average, if you're doing something, suppose this part only, right? That is, I took example, boys and girls, right? So this multiplication, addition, then division, all those things with some bigger number, right? This can be easily done with the concept of mixtures and alligation within say 10 seconds or 15 seconds, right? So mixtures and alligation is a shortcut method for the weighted average. But my suggestion is first, first solve at least 25-30 questions for the average so that you have all these clarity and concept understanding so that the weighted average will be much easier for you people, right?